country. I love Ireland. It's good politics for the most part. But what is on the back? I'm gonna turn around here. Let me know if you can see it. Cool. Hello everybody. Welcome back to the basement. This is episode I can't remember. I put 7 in the recording thing, but I don't know if that's true. Is it 7? 8?
I don't know.
Numbers, they're hard.
By the way,
yeah.
in case anyone does notice, yes, I do. I'm recovering from some hives on my hands. So that is.
I thought you were going to point out your nails. I was like, we're just going to go straight.
Oh yeah, I did paint my nails just now. They are shiny and kind of fun.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I have some unexplained hives all over my hands. So if you see those, yes, they look gross, and I'm sorry, but I don't know why I have them. And if I take one Benadryl, just one, because I weigh about 100 pounds, it will knock me out for 24 full hours. Wow. So can't do them. Also, I'd like to introduce to you, I'm trying some new beverages at the advice of a friend. I asked what flavor it was, and I was told it's just called violet. It's just a color. It's not even a flavor. So I'm trying Monster Ultraviolet.
That's what they flavor Gatorades. And like when I was like, playing soccer, they would just be like, get the blue one. And I was like, what's that? Like, what's that supposed to I don't know. I don't understand.
So we're also going to start getting beverage reviews on the basement. This was unsolicited and unsponsored, but Monster, call me if you feel like it, because your mango one's pretty tight. Depends on if you like this.
Let's see.
Well, tell me what's going on. I got to savor this before I give a review. So what's going on?
Okay. Well, first of all, what I'm wearing right now. Ooh, Monster Energy is not calling.
It tastes like grape Dimetapp. Like exactly like grape Dimetapp. I'm going to keep drinking it.
Got to come through on the sponsorship. Okay, so what I'm wearing right now, what I'm wearing right now just came in the mail today, and it is from the front in Ireland football soccer kit. Football soccer, it's called football, but we call it soccer. You're struggling hard. That does not look good. So Ireland, famous country. I love Ireland. Good politics for the most part, but what is on the back? I'm gonna turn around here. Let me know if you can see it.
Nope.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Ayo Edebiri, famed actress, famed honorary Irish citizen. Yeah, so if you're not aware of the lore, I think it spawned from her doing an impression of Jenny the donkey from Banshees of Inisherin in an interview at some point, and then everybody, including her, just kind of ran with it to the point where like she won an Emmy, and she was like, "Yep, shout out to my people in Dublin and Cork." And now we just all think of Ayo Edebiri as an Irish lass. So this came to me in a dream, as I am a big fan of football, 2, a big fan of Ireland, and D, a fan of Ayo Edebiri. Like my counting system there. Yes. So it came to me in a dream, and then I decided to pay somebody from China like $50 to see if they could do it, and then they did. I had no idea if I would get anything back, but I did, and it worked.
That's actually less than I thought. I was talking about it. I was like, honestly, there are way worse things you could spend $60 on, and that was what I thought it cost. So that's a good deal.
This, for the record, not an actual. It's a bootleg jersey, but it's a very good replica.
But still, though, I mean, it couldn't be real because she's not a real player anyway.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So,
but it is the spirit of it is what matters.
And I plan on wearing this a lot when I go when I'm going to be going to college and stuff. And for most people, won't get the joke whatsoever, because the crossover between Irish football fans and Ayo Edebiri fans probably quite slim. But for the people, even for the people that just get the Ayo Edebiri Irish meme, like I like things that for most people it means nothing, and for like the 5 people it does make sense for. It's the funniest thing ever.
It's like I have this red tank top, and it looks like a band shirt,
Mhm.
and it says Darmok and Jalad Tanagra,
Okay.
and it's a Star Trek: The Next Generation reference. And then I have one that's a little bit different. It says
Okay.
Shaka when the walls fell, which is another reference from the same episode. But like it it's just the whole point of the episode is that there's like a language that's all about just like metaphor. And so
Mhm.
everything that they're referencing when they talk to one another as a species is referencing a historical event or thing that happened. So like
Okay.
something that was really sad, Shaka when the walls fell. And so like if they're talking with each other and they say Shaka when
When
the
the
walls fell,
towers
it's like
fell,
they're
am I
saying
right?
something
Sorry,
something
that
sad.
wasn't
Oh, ugh. Anyways,
intrusive thoughts, it's 10 o'clock. I had to let it out.
no, that's okay.
Um,
But like, no one is gonna get that other than a
no.
TNG fan, let alone like the idea that it looks like one of them looks like a band t-shirt. So it's like an
Mhm,
even deeper cut because like yours is like a jersey and mine looks
mhm.
like a band t-shirt. And it's just the few people
My
that get it, you're like, oh, I love it so much.
my other favorite one of these is my, Conroy 2024 Enough Already shirt.
Yes.
Conroy running for president from the greatest television show of all time, Succession. And my favorite thing about this is I went to the campus of the community college was at, and, I convinced upwards of 10 people that Conroy was a real candidate for this upcoming election and convinced them of his policies.
Oh my.
I just
Oh,
walked around and was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Conor Roy?" And then they said no, and then I explained, as if he was a real person. It was really funny.
by the way, also, I really tried. I thought I could force myself to keep drinking it just to do it.
I know you stopped fast.
I had spit some of it back in. I couldn't. I could not.
You spit some back in.
Yeah, you check the tape. Just maybe that'll be the intro.
Just you spitting, just
You spitting Monster
a tight
Energy back.
slow-mo of you, yeah.
You should zoom into it too and just have no context whatsoever.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Um, oh my god.
wow.
What else happened?
Well, I mean,
Um
do we want to talk about the big thing? The big movie?
Oh, Civil War, okay. I assume that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so Mara and I haven't talked to each other in, like, 2 weeks. We couldn't do it last week because busy, and then also I had a college, thing I did in mid-student state and an honors interview, which I got into in the honors program. So, but
And
got all
Rachel
those things.
Cushing Levine visited me for the solar eclipse, so that was
That is
also
also too.
fun.
Also, solar eclipse was cool, was fun.
Yes.
Um, I definitely looked at it multiple times without glasses, but also with glasses. Um,
I mean, you
I'm
can look at it in
aspiring to be the
totality
president.
without glasses.
I was not totality. I was just aspiring to be the president. But so yeah, uh, Civil War. I don't know your thoughts about this.
So my thoughts are very complicated.
Okay, same. I sent you my letterboxed.
Yes.
I have complicated
So
thoughts and feelings.
my thoughts are complicated partially because it's I felt very darkly emotional because there are things like that happening in a part of the world right now that deeply affect me. And there are things like that that happen in a much worse grand scale that happen in other parts of the world, especially to people of color, that most people don't really think about. And we're talking like grievous acts of bodily harm and torture and war crimes and things like that that people I hope people are affected by this movie because they
Mhm.
see countrymen against countrymen, citizen against citizen, thing like that. And hopefully it affects them because they're thinking about, oh my God, what if it happened to me? But like it
I
happens.
don't think
It's
they're thinking about it
real.
in the
It really
context of like
happens.
Palestine or the Congo or Yemen or anything like where there's like, I yeah, I
So
I
like that
thought
was
it
like hard
was
for me to watch in a way.
I thought it was effective
Hmm.
in what it was trying to do from, I don't know. I think, like, in creating, like, an atmosphere and a feeling,
Hmm.
I think it worked. I just don't really think I don't know. It felt very transparently like a response to 2020. within America, at least in my
Mhm.
mind. And, you know, the Capitol storming and that whole election cycle and everything else surrounding that. And if you're going to make a film responding to that, it just feels odd to me to make it so expressly apolitical.
Oh, see, I actually liked that because I feel
Okay.
like I think without taking a side, you can possibly bring people to the table to the idea that it
But
doesn't
then what
really
is it
matter which
saying?
side is the aggressor. The idea is that if we don't come to the table and try to find a way forward united as a country in some form of compromise, this is where we end up. It doesn't matter who makes the first blow, it doesn't matter who does the first wrong. That is where we end up, and that is the terrible, terrible place. And I kind of liked that it stayed apolitical.
Sure. I felt like in really staying apolitical, it just has nothing to say though. Like I don't know. I felt very, very like empty by the end, I guess, in that like it felt engaging and engrossing and entertaining while I was watching it. But I felt like I was left with like basically nothing to chew on afterwards. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It feels very, very vague. Like it's about like the power of imagery, but then I feel like it there's no like real depth to the images it's showcasing beyond the surface level.
I felt
And
like
I feel
part
like
of
it
that was on
wants to be
purpose,
more.
especially because it was about photojournalists. Like, and that's the whole point is that like their images are powerful, but their images are given the most power by the people that put words behind them. Like they literally said it in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that was the right choice. I just mean I do think that was an intentional choice.
Yeah.
So like it didn't work for you, and
I
that's
yeah, I guess I
I
agree with that.
totally get
I
that.
think it is. Yeah, I it did feel I guess intentional that way. It just I don't know. I don't really feel like it marries those ideas because I feel like that also then leaves like a lane for it to be interpreted as like almost like critical of the photojournalists in a way. Um, which I don't think is what was intended. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
so I don't know. It just kind of slowly made me more uh, like annoyed because it felt like it was kept on. I don't know. It feels like there's like an idea at the core, but it didn't really want to ever engage with it, and it was just like kind of tiptoeing around the idea.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know. I think that if you want to create a conversation, like you should at least make an argument. Um, and this argument just felt rather non-existent, at least to me, for a film that feels like it wants to create a conversation. It felt and I texted my thoughts to Thomas, my co-host with Oscar Buzz, and he said everything you just said is basically what you said after Saltburn. And I do feel
Ha.
very similarly to this movie as I do about Saltburn. In that I think that there's so much there, but nothing really clear out
Mhm.
of all of the things that are there. But like it's entertaining while you're watching it, so I can't complain that much. But yeah, I feel quite similarly to this as I do about Saltburn, I guess.
Yeah, I do think that some stuff fell apart for me a little bit at the end,
I
but
agree. The third act is the weakest, I feel.
yeah. But overall, I mean, I felt very compelled during it, but like I said, I do think that perhaps there's slightly a bit more of a personal stake for me. And also like some of the like war elements were a little triggering for me
Sure.
just like on a military service level, but
Yeah.
also, you know, that's just me. I
Right. Sure.
still am glad I saw it, and it certainly wasn't. I thought, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I thought it would actually be more inflammatory. It was actually way more subdued in its messaging than I
Yeah,
thought it was going to be. And I think that the marketing is actually doing it a little bit of a disservice. And
I agree.
I
I
think
liked it.
that's
I did
bad.
like it more than I thought I would. Like I thought I was going to like I don't want to go into movies expecting to hate them, but considering how I felt about Men and like
Considering
just
how you feel about men.
yeah.
I'm just
um
joking.
but yeah, I don't know. I wasn't necessarily going in with the highest of hopes. And I did, like I gave it a 3 out of 5 on
It is
Letterboxd. Like
weird
I
how
really
like
like it.
unsubtle and then subtle. Like what
But
a
it's
pivot.
interesting. I don't even think that this is subtle necessarily. I just think it's like just more laid back almost.
Oh,
Like,
what do you think?
but it does like to me it felt like he was just so on the nose with absolutely everything in Men, and then tried to do like a complete 180, and I don't think he necessarily landed on subtle messaging, and more so just like a bit of a void of messaging at least for me. But I mean, yeah, it was definitely a bit of a pivot. So I don't know. I just don't think that Garland is necessarily for me as a whole, though. Like
Yeah,
I
they're
think
hit
that
or miss.
somebody already made a better version of of Civil War, and it's called Children of Men.
Oh
Like,
gosh, I should rewatch that.
I mean, in like Alex Garland has a knack for this because like somebody already made a better version of Annihilation, and it's called Stalker.
Ha!
Like, I don't know.
It's okay, baby.
So
Keep
yeah,
an eye
but
open.
that was Civil War. But what I did
Good one.
later this weekend was far more important. I was
Aw.
at a visit for a college, and I watched 4 movies on a hotel TV.
Okay.
They were Twister,
Yeah.
good, fun. I don't know if I'm curious about
Quintessential
Leah's experience.
90s movie.
It's fun. I enjoy the movie. I also did not realize that Conroy was in that.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I cheered when I saw Conroy.
I love Alan
Star
Ruck so much.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which I like that movie. I've like after sitting with it, like I don't think it's like a masterpiece or anything. I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie, but I do enjoy it probably more than any of the others in the sequel trilogy.
I think it
So
has some incredibly cool things. I also think it suffers from many of the same flaws that people criticize The Force Awakens for and that they like to ignore in The Last Jedi.
yeah, because I don't love The Force Awakens as a whole. I think it's fun, but I take far more of an issue with some of the things in that than some of the things in Last Jedi, just because like I think the valleys are on the same, but for me the peaks are higher in Last Jedi.
And
So
but I enjoy both of those, even with whatever high highs I find in some and low lows I find in the others. Both of them are far superior to The Rise of Skywalker for me
yeah, well,
personally.
that bar was 6 feet in the ground, so not too hard to step over.
Just don't ask
But
Adam Witt because
I
he,
know.
as a consummate lover of all things Star Wars, does very much love Rise of Skywalker. And it's
Yeah.
joyful to talk about it with him because he almost makes you want to love it too. He truly does.
He comes close.
He does. His love is so pure.
Then I watched The Day After Tomorrow for the first time. That was
Oh
rough.
wow. I haven't revisited that in a long time.
Isn't Roland Emmerich supposed to be gay? Because I don't know if I believe that. Like, isn't he supposed to be?
I mean, I suppose you'd have to ask him personally because I'm not going to speak to his sexuality.
You can look at his Wikipedia. I think he's.
I mean, if we're talking about on paper, then yes.
Yeah, he's gay. I don't know, man. Like he made like The Patriot. Like, can we really?
Oh my god, where is this going?
I just don't know if I want to claim him.
I don't think I think you have to. If
he
made
Moonfall. I think he made
he did make Moonfall. It's a fact. It happened.
I don't know about this. I mean,
Sorry,
I think
buddy.
he made that Stonewall movie. That
I haven't seen.
It's bad. Like really, really bad.
Now I want to see it.
Maybe I'll sign that to you at some point. Nice. Yeah, Day After Tomorrow, not good. Did not enjoy.
I mean, at the time, that was like perfect peak age for like a Gyllenhaal crush. So sure. I was not mad at it. And Emmy Rossum is also just like Gorgina. So I was not unhappy to watch that film.
Gorgina is crazy. I've never heard that.
I would like to also thank my friend Kaylee for that one because I had never heard that either. I think she may have invented it.
I'm going to use that.
Please, please do. She will be delighted because I'm going to see her tomorrow and we're having breakfast on Monday. I will make sure that she is well aware that it's spreading, that Gorgina is spreading like verbal herpes.
Spread it with the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then speaking of the youth, I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith for the first time.
Oh my God. Okay. That movie still has one of my favorite jokes of all time where like he's asking her about like the kindly old man at the wedding or whatever the thing is. And then she's just like, I'm Jewish. That's my favorite jokes ever in a movie. It's just said with such like sad, solemn seriousness. And then a minivan of all things, a minivan. Oh,
yeah.
Please tell me you enjoyed it for what it was.
We can move on.
It's not trying to be anything more than like sexy gun shooting movie.
I was just bored. I don't know.
Aww.
I'm perfectly fine with a movie being fun as long as I'm not bored. And I was unfortunately bored.
I guess that movie also means a lot to people that were aware of the fact that that's what broke up him and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, I had zero. Yeah, I don't know.
Sad.
I did watch Love Lies Bleeding though. Love that movie. Adored it.
Oh yes, I know. I mean, to be fair, I figured you would, but yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, but Dan gave me extensive
yeah.
Yes. Plus also it kind of felt like it was the good queer version of Magazine Dreams. So
Yeah.
No, like not that he wasn't good in Magazine Dreams, but we have to disavow its existence because
forever,
apparently it's a biopic. So
but Jesus. But no, yeah, absolutely adored Love Lies Bleeding. Like it's my number 2 of 2024 just behind The People's Joker. Like I love that movie. My top 4 is People's Joker, Love Lies Bleeding, In Water by Hong Sang-soo, and then How to Have Sex by Molly Mae Walker. So
yeah, I've had a little bit of a, clearly as you can tell by just unexplained hives, I've had a little bit of a rough health period of late. The only movie that I have seen recently, I've skipped several, including many horror movies, which I've been so sad about because I wanted to go. So Dan has had to cancel many movie tickets on my behalf, was Civil War, because I was like, I don't care how crappy I feel, I have to go. So I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had to, because I also don't know when I'd be able to see it if I hadn't seen it when I did with him yesterday. No, Thursday. Yeah.
Yes.
Thursday.
I'm doing the mental that. Yeah.
Well, earlier today, I thought it was both Sunday, then Friday. So I got it right this time.
Yeah. You got there eventually. Those are 2 different, I was going to say not very different days. But just,
technically it's only Saturday here for 90 more minutes, so I was almost right.
You're almost right. Yeah. Oh, I have started doing.
Cat.
I am learning how to do Snapchat.
Okay.
I have never. So despite my appearance on Twitter, that is a continuous addiction from COVID times that I need to cut down on. I am generally not very fond of social media. I do not have an Instagram. I do not have TikTok. I did not have Snapchat prior to today. I did not have any of these things. I had Letterboxd. That was my social media. I don't know. I don't think that social media is good for us. But I still use it because it's there, I guess, and it's designed to make you want to use it more because it's addicting. So I'm learning how to do Snapchat now because I met people at a students' day thing for the college I'm going to be going for, and they told me to.
Nice. I'm so glad that college peer pressure is starting strong.
Yep. Already getting me onto another side. Yeah, do you have it?
I do.
Okay. We can figure this out. I'm learning. My sister uses it a lot. That is the main. Apparently, this is the main way how people communicate. I feel like this is relatable content. I've seen the analytics. You guys out there, you aren't getting any younger, so you're probably along with me here. Apparently, this is how the youth communicate.
It's how I get a lot of dog pictures and pictures of IKEA furniture from friends. Like that is 99% of its use.
Yeah.
For the few people that I talk to using it is pictures of their dogs and of IKEA furniture that they bought.
Interesting. Yeah,
no shade on IKEA, by the way. Love IKEA.
I'm learning. I'm figuring it out. We're getting there, but I think I'm getting close. I got very sunburned. I don't know if you can tell. Like it shows up
just like, a little bit, but I wouldn't have noticed it until you said it.
Until I said it, but now everybody notices. No, I'm very, very pale. Like, so you can tell very easily between here too. Yeah. It's rough.
It's okay. Being, a white person is a really
God,
life.
It's so hard, Mara. Can I explain to you how hard it is to be white?
Please do it. I want to hear it so much. Please, I want to go to this TED Talk.
Oh God. I didn't want to. So Mara, if you see, we have to fight really hard.
Oh, you're gonna do it.
Because like sometimes, right? If you want to, this is rough. Food stains your face more. Like I feel like I'm a napkin, and and wet wipe commercials or like paper towel commercials where they're like ours and then the competing brand. Like I'm the competing brand that just gets all of the pasta sauce. It's soaked into.
I actually think that should maybe be the opening. I am the competing brand, all of the pasta sauce. Oh, let's never change, please. I want, like, when you're 45 years old, can we please still be doing this?
You better still be alive.
Oh my God, how old do you think I am? Jesus. Although
wait, can I do the math?
Unless I get a kidney, I may not be alive.
Point the case. So we'll see. I mean,
what about my positive blood type people out there? What's up? What?
I don't know what blood I have.
Well, you do have some. I'll promise you that.
Nah, I'm white. We're different.
Oh, you should know though for going to school, just in case in emergencies.
I think it's A something. I don't know.
Buddy, what kind of blood type did he have? Tell him. Bubba, what's his blood type? What? Tell him.
He doesn't know either.
He doesn't know. We're the same. I'm as smart as a cat. Let's go.
He's not a smart cat. I love him so much, but he's a stupid baby.
Nah, Dasher's also very, very dumb.
He's a pretty boy, so it doesn't matter.
He's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty privilege, That's how most humans function. Dumb human.
Oh, we're talking about you, huh?
He's been doing this thing where he started to just use my leg as a scratching post. It's not great. He'll just like jump up on my leg. He doesn't scratch, but he'll just start like smacking my leg. And it's mainly because he likes to just like inspect things. So like we have like our laundry room. You've been in my basement.
Yes, I have. What? It sounded weird when you said it like that, but I was like, let's clarify. Yes, when I visited your home with your entire family. Well, actually, I'm sorry, your dad was at work. But your mom was there because I have met her and we have spoken. We have also spoken on the telephone more than once. I did not. I was different than Kaiser. I did not send an offering of raw meat and
have
seafood.
We told this? Yeah. So Kaiser just like I think it was I was helping Dan and Ben with a match or
Yeah.
something, and when they were a team for Schmoedown, and I think I made a joke that I was like, "Wow, you know, I should be getting paid for all the hours I'm putting in," and Kaiser was like, "You want meat?" Was just simply what he responded with,
Yeah.
and then I said, "What?" And then Kaiser
Yeah.
said, "I have meat. Do you want it?" And I said, "Phrasing." No, and
Yep.
then, and then I was like, "What kind?" And then he says, "I have some good steak. I can send it to your address if you want it." And then I said, "Okay." And then I made the mistake of giving my address to Kaiser. And then 2 weeks later, like 8 steaks just showed up on my doorstep, and we ate them as a family.
I would like to point out the danger. Anybody that has children or anybody that is a minor for some reason, if they are watching this program, do not let your 15-year-old of any identity give their home address to anyone like Kaiser. Don't let them do that. That may not have been the smartest move, even though I love Kaiser. I just mean you didn't know Kaiser that well, and your parents definitely didn't know Kaiser. I'm glad it turned out okay. And those steaks were definitely made out of animals.
They definitely were. I've never been the same since, but it's okay. I got more white. It was but yeah. I don't know how we got. I don't know. I've been figuring out Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah. Oh, and I was watching all those movies, but guess what? Wasn't the worst thing I watched on my hotel TV.
Oh God, please tell me that Psycho isn't the thing you're going to talk about next.
Nope. I'm talking about Tottenham losing 4-0 to Newcastle.
I know.
And so you weren't here for last year. This was actually a good result compared to last year.
Oh God.
Last year when we played Newcastle away, lost 6-1. It was 5-0 in 20 minutes. 5-0 in 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
3-0 after 8 minutes.
Did everyone have like seizures at the same moment?
I don't know. I wanted to do myself in Minecraft. Whew. After that one. Well, I'm gonna self-censor there so we don't get demonetized. But you can put the things together. I was gonna, throw a toaster in the tub, if you will. Yeah, no, wasn't great. So now it's gonna be tight between us and Villa to try to get fourth and get Champions League. And we still have to play Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City, all 3 top teams. It's going to be
Arsenal.
Fun. Yeah, unfortunately, I kind of have to root for Arsenal tomorrow because they're playing Villa, and we're in direct competition with Villa, which is annoying.
I know. Isn't that funny when that has to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I hate in the NFL when that has to happen, and I'm like, well, between 2 evils, I choose the lesser, which is still the one I don't like.
Also, so for England to get a potential 5th spot in the Champions League for this year, which would help us because we're 10 points clear of 6th place, so like we should be locked in the top 5. It would just be tight between top 4 for Champions League.
Right.
So they do it off of they're awarding an extra spot to a couple of countries, and England is potentially one of them. And we need English teams to do well in the Champions League this year. Well, Arsenal is one of the teams remaining, so it would kind of be helpful if Arsenal did well in the Champions League, because that would give us an extra spot potentially, which would mean that Tottenham would almost definitely qualify. So there are 6 games left in the season. We play Arsenal next. It's a 2-game. We have 1 week off because it's FA Cup semifinals and we're out of that, and then it's Arsenal next, and we'll see.
Wait, so what day is it?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we could.
Depending on the timing, we should watch it together.
Yeah, you can see me in pain. Let's see. Arsenal versus Tottenham, April 28th.
28th.
At 8 a.m.
So. Ooh, that just might work.
Okay, well, maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
North London Derby. That was my first first game watching Tottenham in 2015, 2014 was a Tottenham versus Arsenal game. And I chose Tottenham, and now I get to be in pain forever. Yeah. Okay. Should we talk about movies?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, other movies besides the ones we've talked about.
Yeah. Do you want to go with Lego Star Wars or Psycho first,
Yeah,
Mara?
let's go with Lego Star Wars first.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
It held up. I'm gonna be completely honest. It held up. Okay.
Completely.
As seven-year-old me, great taste.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite between the two? Because I feel like one is definitely like that. Again, I think they were both really cute, but one was definitely superior to the other. I think.
My favorite of the two is Empire Strikes Out.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, cool. That was always my favorite growing up. I remember I had the minifigure of Lego Darth Vader with the medal, and I don't know where it is, but
I love
I'm
that
sure
end too, like that role reversal thing where it's like them doing the ceremony. Like I was like, oh my god, this is great.
So, somebody said this on Letterboxd, but like nobody is better at doing a parody of Star Wars than Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
And this is just fact. Like it genuinely like brilliant parody. I mean, there's a bit with Hayden Christensen where there's like fangirls for Luke, and then they show him just a picture of not Lego, just regular Hayden Christensen, and then they all lose their minds. It's funny and also very real. Yeah, I'm curious as you as an adult, your first perspective on these without my nostalgia for it being an 8-year-old.
I mean, I went in and I was like, okay, it's going to be cute. And I was like, okay, every one of these jokes is awesome because it's like, it's good, lighthearted, well-intentioned, and also accurate digs at Star Wars. Like, that's to me the best kind of joke. And they were all like, I love the self-awareness of some of them. And I like what you can get away with using Lego. Like anytime that they use the medium of Lego where it's like the two ships crash into each other and they float through space and then the two ships reform on the other side of them. It's like those little jokes you can make with Lego because it's Lego, or like making the new Death Star as Darth Maul's head.
Yeah.
And like just the whole
Darth
like,
Maul having
eight
blades. Like, yeah.
Like the two kids vying for daddy's love kind of a thing. Like it's just also
it was giving Succession. Oh my god.
Yes. I will say this though. Have you ever seen the Family Guy Blue Harvest?
No, I've heard of them.
The last one is.
I've heard of those. I have never seen those.
They are not necessarily better than this, but I will say that Seth MacFarlane, because he had to get like permission to do them from Lucasfilm, because it was still Lucasfilm at the time. And he actually did a really good job also making fun of Star Wars because he loves it so much. But like, these are just so good because I think it's the fact that you get to use Lego to do it that makes it extra fun. Like, I'm gonna take my entire head off and put another head back on. It's just so silly.
No, and it's just, I don't know, with Lego there's always like a level of like self-referential, like I mean, like it's just there's such a specific comedy style to Lego. Like I mean, the Lego video games just the best. Have you ever played the Lego Okay, so at some point we're gonna have to do like, I think it's available on PC. I always played on the Wii, but we should play through Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Okay, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga genuinely might be the greatest game ever made. It is so fun. It's yeah, I mean I'm definitely like less involved with the world of Star Wars. What?
Ooh, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga.
It should be the one with only 1 through 6. Because they made a new one with all of them, and it's not as good.
Oh, well, I see the Skywalker Saga. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, not the Skywalker Saga. That's the newer one.
So okay. So
the
one that says the
original. Saga? Yes, including episodes 1 through 6. Because it was initially Lego Star Wars 1 and Lego Star Wars 2, which was, each of the 2 original trilogies, and then they turned it into the Complete Saga. We'll have to figure it out.
Well, I think the Xbox One is reverse compatible. So with Xbox 360 games, I think, because yeah, I can get that like cheap.
Yeah.
I want it because I would want to play on Xbox just because it's the thing I know, rather
Sure.
than on computer. But yeah.
No, it's really like, again, I'm definitely less involved with the world of Star Wars right now. But I was very, very into it as a wee child, and genuinely my two core memories of Star Wars are watching the Clone Wars TV show, which I still think is the best Star Wars thing, but watching the Clone Wars in my not my family's van while driving to vacations and playing Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Like, I think I even played through some of the prequel games on Lego Star Wars before I saw the movies. Like,
really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
So, yeah. Also just wanted to point out, so Lego Star Wars: The Padawan Menace, for the record, is like Han Solo, young Han Solo during the Clone Wars meeting up with Yoda. And
cute.
yeah, no, it's fun. And there's a Letterboxd account named Lego Yoda, and it is the Lego Yoda profile picture, and it reviewed the movie under the tag Criterion Blu-ray, and it said, very sexy in this, I am. Essential watch for potential film students. This is.
Has that account done any other reviews?
Let me see, actually.
Because that I want to read other reviews that account has done, especially non-Star Wars reviews.
Their top 4 is Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, The Padawan Menace, and then Joker.
Please read the Joker review right now.
Wait, I don't know if there is one. Wait, there are how many reviews? There's 5 reviews. Okay, they reviewed Shame by Steve McQueen and said, Lamau, literally me this is. I'm so lonely.
I really thought the review was just going to be fluffed. He is.
Okay, they reviewed the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Okay. By the way, all of these reviews are 5-star.
Okay.
Okay. After watching this, very horny I am. Need to look at Mario Rule 34 on Master Kenobi's laptop.
Oh my god. I love this account.
The Wolf of Wall Street. So lonely I am. Makes me feel like less of a fucking loser this does. Come back you must, my dear Yaddle. Miss the kids I do.
Yaddle reference. Yes. Thank you.
And then Fight Club. Makes me jacked full of testosterone, this film does. Go to the Jedi Temple and run over my dumbass employers, I must. Rise up, gamers must.
Dang.
This account has not been used since May 2023. And it only has 140 followers.
I'd like to think he's just biding his time till the next. He's waiting.
The next masterpiece.
He's waiting till the Joker sequel.
Yeah, Joker Folie à Deux.
Yep.
Which, okay, I'm sorry, I did not like that trailer, but
I have not seen it.
Wow, really? Still?
No, really still. Should I watch it?
Yeah, we can get your live reaction. We can get your live reaction. We can show this on. We're not getting monetized.
Yeah, we're not getting monetized.
Okay, let's show you the Joker Folie à Deux trailer. Their annoying French title or whatever. Oh, I've also been watching.
Trevor apparently it's not like the French.
They make good movies. I've also been watching the
food.
I wouldn't know. I've also been watching the chess candidates tournament, which is the qualifier for the World Chess Championship, and that has been very fun. So, I
watched the Counter-Strike tournament, by the way, because
oh, nice,
yeah, because that's a thing I do.
Okay, I had this debate with somebody the other day. Is chess now an esport because so much of it is done online? and I feel like it's treated and has a fan base like an esport now. Because like
I
chess
think
is
it's
big.
a little bit. I mean,
Like
honestly, I think it'd be kind of cool if it were, just because it would get more people to be interested in it and maybe play it. So I'm like, I'm
I mean,
okay with that.
it has like the tournaments are like massive now. Like they get like millions of live viewers. Like
Good.
it's chess is like kind of yeah.
Like, I'm
I
not a
mean, those
gatekeeper
fan
about like,
bases
oh my
and
god, chess needs to stay pretentious and people need to wear bow ties and sit in rooms with
yeah,
tufted leather chairs and fireplaces. Like, I think
yeah.
it should be as accessible a thing as possible. Like, it's intellectually stimulating, it's fun, it's I don't know. I think the
Maybe
cooler we make it, the better. Because it's not like the game
okay.
itself can physically change. You literally will never change the rules of chess. It will never change.
After we're done recording, I need to show you clips from like recent tournaments because it's like it's gotten big. It's like getting into the mainstream, which is it's been very
Yeah.
very fun with like some of the top players. So I'm rooting for Fabiano Caruana this time, America's best chance at a world champion since I mean like the 70s. So
Oh, the
see how it
70s.
goes. Winner gets the challenge. Ding Liren of China, who's the current champion. Even though, okay, chess T. So Magnus Carlsen, I'm sure have you heard of him?
Yes.
Okay, best chess player in the world, basically, right? So he was world champion for like 12 years straight, and like nobody could beat him.
Oh, why did I do
You
that?
good?
I have such a habit because I get a lot of sebum and oil in like my nose area because brown.
Yeah.
And I have a habit of wiping the back of my hand, and I forgot that I have the hives.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
why did I do that? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Yeah. So basically, he said he laid out like all a series of like things saying like how he didn't like the format of how it was currently being done and that they should
Mhm.
change it to be more like accessible and also pay people better and also that he was getting bored of winning every single day.
Wow.
Which is fair if you win for 12 years straight or the world champion or however long it was. So basically he vacated his title and is taking the seat back. But he did hint recently that he's going to be coming back for the next candidates tournament because he's qualified for the last two since he's vacated, but just chose not to participate because he won the World Cup, I think, last year, which got him in. So, but anyways, I like chess is probably is it a sport? I don't know.
I would say sport is. I think
I
that's
feel
one
like
of
it has to be
those terms
athletic.
that we can kind of decide if society wants to let fluctuate or not, because I think that
Like people call the Schmoedown a sport, and I don't like. Was that a sport?
I mean, I think it depends on, do we want the word sport to really have a heavy overlap in a Venn diagram with athleticism, and athleticism as in physical athleticism? Because I do think that like intellectual athleticism is a thing. I just think we
Yeah.
don't think about it like that. Like, for example,
It's using the muscle. Like,
I think
mean,
anything that someone can do
That's
that
not true.
you marvel at and in no way could you fucking ever do is
Right.
almost like a sport. Like, if you can get a medal or a trophy at it, and there's no way that a regular person can just do it on their own, like Jeopardy, Ken Jennings, James
Right.
Holzhauer, like people like that, where it's like, okay, they're going to win $1 million on Jeopardy, and you're just going to sit there and be like, even on my best day, I could never beat them. Like, they are just marvelous at what they do. And I'm not saying that makes them a genius either, because, they could be a fucking idiot about like they can't make a pancake. Like, it
Right.
takes all kinds, but like even a chess player, maybe that person is like, I am shit at parallel parking. I can never do it. Not in my wildest dreams because I suck at geometry or something,
Yeah.
But like, I think that there's different kinds of athleticism. And that's just intellectual athleticism. Does that mean it's a sport? I don't know. I guess it just depends on what we want to use colloquially to define the word sport. I guess I would say maybe. I don't know if I have a personal opinion on it. I really got to dissect that. But that's because I'm also really weird about like etymology and like the evolution of the language. So I don't know. Maybe. What do you think? Is just
I don't know. Like I feel like traditionally I imagine like because you have competition, you have athleticism. Because like I feel like something like like a ballet dancer who's just performing in a show. Like they're in like those people are athletes, but I don't know if it's necessarily a sport unless there's like a competition. And I feel like you could say the same thing where it's like, okay, if it's just purely a competition, like they're a top level, like, you know, competitor, and maybe you could even call them mental athletes, but is it a sport without like the physical?
Well, that's why I think it's like a three-way Venn diagram of
Yeah.
sports, athletics, and intellect and like intellectualism. And I
And
think
like
there's something that's
competition,
like
I feel like
right in the very
competition
middle.
has to be in there somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, we could throw a fourth
Yeah.
one in there, and right in the very center is like, you know, a few very specific things.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, it just kind of overlaps in different areas. But yeah, because I
Yeah.
agree with you. There's definitely different types of physical prowess that are not competitive, but that are definitely sporting or whatnot. Oh, hi, big stretch. Oh, don't
But
step.
you're still here.
Sorry.
We are good.
Okay, good.
But no, yeah, all that to say, aside from soccer, chess is probably the competition, I'll say, that I follow the closely. So yes, very, very fun.
Now that
okay,
the
do you
movie
want to
Trivia
watch the...
Schmodown has disbanded, that is.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Do you want to watch the Joker 2 trailer?
Yeah, I do. I do. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna play this. I'm gonna let my cat in the room. So here you go.
Okay.
Oh, can you hear this?
Yeah.
Hey Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
We use music to make us whole, to balance the fractures within ourselves.
I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have.
Somebody took the screenshot and said "Hear me out" on Twitter. It was like, that's Lady Gaga. That's not a "Hear me out." Anyways.
Let's get out of here.
What the world needs now is a love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Tell us, what's changed, Arthur?
I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking about.
I want to see the real you.
This shot annoyed me. I don't know why. Like, come on.
It's trying really hard.
It's trying really hard. Okay. Not that I'm happy that you aren't super into this, but by the look on your face, it doesn't look like you're super into this.
I mean, the trailer's trying really hard also.
Yeah. I like, I'll still go in with as much of an open mind as I can with the movie. I just don't think that the trailer's really good. Like, I don't know. It wants to go for something very specific, and I don't see that working.
The sad thing is, I could see this type of movie because I feel like I know what the movie is going to feel like. That type of movie is something that can very, very much work for me. I just feel like the precedent that they set with the messaging in the first film has a very sour taste in my mouth for where they take this, because especially since they are very much heading into this using the platform like the stepping stone of mental illness, something about which I feel very strongly, and something that initially I felt like they had a lot to say about in the first movie. And they were saying really good things about like the systemic failings of governmental failings towards the mentally ill, especially since my mental health care comes from the federal government. This week alone, I had significant failings from the federal government regarding my mental health care, including possibly not having my mental health medication, something that is not immediately, you know, life-threatening, but long-term is potentially life-threatening for me. So like, I'm very passionate about it. I didn't like where they ended up and kind of where they felt like they went full circle with it. And I didn't feel like they did. I felt like they just kind of took the circle, cut it in half, took a dump in the other half of it, and then served it to the American public and said, "Oh, Joker." And I don't, that's why I feel like I'm going into this one, but I'm
like, can we stop? Sorry, can we stop pretending that Todd Phillips is a good director? I'm sorry. He made the Hangover movies. He's not good just because he made a superhero movie that wasn't, you know, like going like boom, explosion every second. Like, he isn't a good filmmaker. He like I feel like he rarely has like a strong grasp on his thematic ideas, and he often just goes for aesthetic over like actually engaging with the audience in any meaningful capacity, and trying to actually relate the ideas that he's saying. Beyond just like the level of like a film school student.
You can do that. You just shouldn't handle serious subject matter if you're going to do that.
Exactly. Like, stick to the Hangover. Like,
yeah, like you don't have to, not everyone has to try to be, you know.
Yeah. And that's, thank you for clarifying. Cause like, that's what I'm saying. That, like, yeah, not everything has to be like this, like, you know, brilliant, like masterpiece of thematic, but like, if you're going to tackle serious topics, then you better be up for the task. Like, yeah. And I don't think that Todd Phillips is up for that. Like, I don't think he's a very good filmmaker. I didn't think that he did a very good job whatsoever with the first Joker film. And this just feels like an even bigger swing. And each time that Todd Phillips has gotten bigger with his swings, they've been even bigger misses for me. I don't know.
I really cannot wait to talk about this movie with you.
Yeah, I also, you know what I think they're going to do?
Tell me.
How in the first Joker, he thought that he was in a relationship with Zazie Beetz, and then he imagined her. Guess what's going to happen in this movie, Mar? Guess who he's going to imagine?
You think?
Yeah, 100%. Todd Phillips isn't that creative. I don't
see. I think he's creative enough to make it even worse that she imagines she's with him.
Oh no, you're right.
That she fangirls out over him, but is too much of a pussy to go actually do anything about it. And she imagines all of it.
If you clock this, you
know, the one and only one correct movie prediction that I ever made ever.
What?
Okay. So, in Godzilla versus Kong,
it's a wild one to predict, just for the record. If you're making Godzilla vs. Kong predictions, that's it.
For real. It was it was before like the first, or no, it was when the very first teaser came out. And they showed like Godzilla wreaking havoc or whatever. And I was like, okay. Now I was like 98% right. I was like, something is going to be happening that is manipulating Godzilla's behavior. And this is going to be like, I didn't know why. I was like, humankind is going to be manipulating this on purpose, which sort of was true, sort of wasn't. It was the fact that Apex was doing stuff that caused Godzilla to attack, because it was the whole Ghidorah brain thing. So it wasn't on purpose. It was just that it was happening. So I was like 98% right. But I was like, there's going to be a Mechagodzilla in this movie, because there was nothing in the trailers about it at all.
I remember you telling me about this. Yeah.
And I was like, wouldn't it be so freaking cool if there was a Mechagodzilla in this movie? And there was! I mean, I've been theorizing about Star Trek movies, Star Wars movies, like superhero movies. And I mean, we all have our like far-fetched predictions, and they cut great trailers that don't show us things on purpose, so that way we'll sit there and speculate and have these like the water cooler topic conversations and whatever. And I will endlessly continue to speculate and continue to endlessly be wrong because it's just fun to talk about stuff we love. That's the one time I was right, one and only one time, and I'm proud of it because I love kaijus and I love Mechagodzilla. He's my favorite.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice,
he my
nice,
boy.
Nice. Cool. Should
Do
we
you
talk
want to
about
talk
Psycho?
about Psycho?
Yeah, we can talk about Psycho.
Oh, please tell me that you loved things about it.
Yes, I did like quite a bit. I had one big issue with the movie, but overall I did really like it. I want to see
Hey,
if
it's
you
not
can
a
guess what
perfect
my
movie,
big
so
problem. I want to see if you can guess what my big issue was with the movie. Not to start negative because this is like
was
a
it the
very, very good
perspective
movie.
shift? Was it the bait and switch about the protagonist?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Okay, because I actually love that.
I think it works. Initially I wasn't on board, but the more I've sat with it, I like it.
Okay.
My issue with it is the last 4 minutes where they feel the need to just
Ah.
exposition dump literally everything. Like I feel like with a film, because this is the first time I haven't seen that much Hitchcock. I've seen Rear Window and Vertigo. He's
Yeah.
called like the master of suspense. This is the first time where I've really seen this. Not to say that Rear Window and Vertigo aren't like great movies, because they are, and I actually prefer them I think to Psycho as a whole. But I do think that this is like his best use of scene, which is pure visual storytelling
Mhm.
to escalate the tension. I think particularly with like Marion Crane and like the driving sequences and how the score is used, and just like it's so simple, but just like the simple like pattern recognition that we pick up, and then when the pattern is broken within the editing, like it's so simple and subtle and well done. Like it's brilliant, and it's really ahead of its time, and it feels so simple and easy, I think, in the way that it's constructed. But I feel like with something that has this incredibly haunting atmosphere that is this kind of like, leaves you in like this very odd space, I don't understand why you then need to feel the need to like explain literally everything at the end and take away from, I think, a lot of the like mystique.
Yeah,
That
I guess
bothered me.
part of me wants to say that's a product of its time, but
I think
that
it
doesn't
probably
mean that
is,
we
but
can't be critical of it now,
sure, yeah, because there were other films that existed in the 50s and 60s and everything that
I'm trying to find a
didn't do
picture that pertains to this movie, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, so what did you think of the Hershey syrup?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think that there's a charm to stuff like that. Like
I just think it's cool that they were inventive enough to figure that out.
yeah, like I feel like there will a lot of people watching now will look at that and be like, oh, looks unrealistic. Like fuck off. I don't like it's. I think that you do.
They did what they could.
Yeah, you have to, I think, at a certain point take a movie at its value for what it is, and take its quirks for how it like that there are different cuts here where it's just like a random just fade to black and then move on, and it's like that would never be done now, but like there are things where you just have to observe it as a product of its time and how it exists at the time, and I think that's what makes a lot of classic films very, very fun to see a lot of the techniques that are being created. So,
close.
Oh, did we get there?
I'm getting close. I have a picture that I cherish, that I absolutely cherish. You know what? I wonder if I can search for a person instead of just for a word, because I'm in Google Photos and I'm kind of searching.
Yeah, I will say I do think like I was, because I'm I've existed and been around film people. Like I've obviously seen the shower scene. I knew Marion wasn't going to be lasting forever, and then I was aware of the mother reveal, and just because like that shot is used, in so many different things in like film classes and whatever. So like
yes,
there's I think it definitely is most effective viewed obviously without any prior knowledge, but I still think it works really, really well. Like just standing on its own. Like it's just it's a very hard film to find like I guess objective fault in, and I don't really believe that like objectivity exists. But I guess just looking at it from like a purely like craft and technical level, like it's just you know, like for all of the context that you can perceive with a film like this and the time and the research and everything, like it's hard to imagine how you would do anything differently, I guess. Like it just it makes sense why it is perceived as one of the greatest of all time. So like, and yeah, like I do have some issues with it as it played out, but like, you know, it's a hard film to deny, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but what's your experience of it like?
I have seen this movie so many times and I love it so very much. I find so much nostalgia with it. It's weird because I mean, I don't know if I ever found it scary. And that's not to say that it is.
I don't think it is scary.
I mean, remember, I would have seen it for the first time when I was like way younger than you, though.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It should have probably scared me a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. I was not an easy to scare child. Yeah, I was kind of dark and weird. Why are my pictures out of order? I'm trying to find, by the way.
Looking?
Yes, well, because I have to go in my Google Photos and I have so many. I have like thousands of photos and I know from when it is, but they don't like show up in order all the time. So I have a very famous picture that people in the Schmoedown have probably heard of. So it was the year of someone's Lord 2016 in October.
The year of someone's Lord.
And I dragged one Dan Murrell to Halloween Horror Nights because, you know, I love Halloween Horror Nights. And we went to the tour, the backlot tour, as we do. And one Mike Kalinowski, who I did not know yet, was working at the Psycho House as Norman Bates. He is their best Norman Bates, by the way, hands down, always will be. Don't even try to challenge me and try to say otherwise because you are wrong.
So you didn't know Mike at this point?
No, I hadn't met him yet because it was
wow.
It was late 2016. So Dan was doing Schmoedown, but he was doing it like he had done like the thing with John Campea, and I think he and Roca might have played or something like that. But like if Mike was playing at that point, he would have been in singles and he might have played Dan, maybe. But I mean, if he had played, he would have been playing Dan. I wouldn't have been playing for years until then, like before then. And but we went to the Psycho House and you get to walk like right up to the steps, right up to the house. You get your photo taken with Norman and it's so freaking cool and everything. And, you know, we were delighted. We thought it was the coolest thing ever. We're like, oh my God, Norman Bates. And afterward, we went to go eat a little nosh at the Jurassic cafe thing, whatever. I forget what it's called. Something really cool. Yeah. And we sit down and Dan has a little Twitter alert and it's from Mike Kalinowski, who again, we didn't know, but we recognized him because his profile picture, you know, because he looks exactly the same. It's Norman Bates. And it's like, oh, I saw Dan Murrell from Screen Junkies because he clearly must have gone on break. And it's like, I got to see Dan Murrell from Screen Junkies. It was really nice. Like to cool to see you, blah, blah, blah. Like just something nice. Like he wasn't gushing. He wasn't fanboying out or anything. He was just being a nice person because he's Mike. He's the nicest guy ever. But it was so cool because we were like, Norman Bates knows who you are. Oh my God. Like
you were the ones that were fan.
We were so excited. We were seriously like, I wish they could pull the footage from the Jurassic Park cafe because we were sitting there eating. He was having like chicken fingers and I was having French fries and a very overpriced cocktail. And we were looking at each other. We were like, oh my God, Norman Bates knows who you are. Oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. And I'm not joking. Like I had played Mike in the Schmoedown and it was like, it had to have been over a year later. I've known Mike for over a year. And I realize finally, because I think he mentioned something about working at Universal at the Psycho House. And I'm like, no way. And I find the photo in my Google Photos and I actually printed it out and I framed it and I gave it to him, I believe, when I was leaving LA as like a going away present, which is weird to give him a photo of himself. But I was in it. I was in it. But like, I have a photo with him from 2 years before I ever met him. and became friends with him. And he's one of my dearest friends now. And we go on vacation together and we share homes together and we drink wine together. Well, we force him to drink wine. And we, you know, it's one of my favorite times of every single year is going and hanging out with, you know, Sam and Rachel and Erica and he and Shannon and Mark and Julie, pre-baby Riley, obviously. Congratulations again, by the way, to the Rileys for little baby JJ. It's on social. I'm not saying anything people don't know, by the way. So I'm not breaking any privacies. By the way, they're super lucky, by the way. Not every baby comes out cute. Some babies look like little potatoes, but their baby came out looking actually very cute. And
I was a bit of a potato. I was also a massive baby. Like,
I was a potato, but I was tiny. I was very ugly.
I was huge, Mara. Like I was I don't know. I don't know the exact. I want to say it was like 14 inches and like 20 ounces or something like that. Like I was big.
I was very wee. Like I mean, that's part of why I'm so sickly now is because I was such a tiny baby.
Yeah, I kept the height from that, but not the weight.
Oh yeah, because this is Horror Nights. Okay, I'm getting real close, but we can keep talking.
We're getting there.
But it's just like still the coolest thing ever. Like, how does that happen? You just realize you like mentally retcon yourself. You're like, oh, you were there.
Yeah. No, that's actually insane.
Well, then it's great too because I can show you the picture at the Horror Nights when we went and we did Halloween Horror Nights as like a pre-wedding celebration type thing during our little wedding weekend. And Mike was working as Norman Bates that night. And so we have another Norman Bates picture with him. And it was so great though, because we walk up and like people were not supposed to be getting like super, super close. Not like for social distancing, but I guess just like new protocol. And Mike's just like, he broke character, which like never happens. But he's like, oh my God, guys, come up here. And the handlers are like, no, don't, you can't go up to Norman. Sorry, you can't go up to the house. And he's like, no, guys, come here. And he's like hugging us and stuff. And we're like, oh, Mike broke character for us. Like I felt so special. I was like, I'm the most special person in the world. Mike Kalinowski broke character for me. What? Here it is. I found it. This is the first picture.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Yeah.
Look at him. He's like, he's so in character. He's so good. He's the best Norman ever.
That's good. Crazy. I'm pretty sure that Mike, so if that was 2 years, because your debut was 2018.
Yeah, and this was 2016.
And Mike made his Schmoedown debut 2017, I think. So it would have been a year before Schmoedown. Because he did like the DC movie talk or whatever it was team.
Yeah.
With Adam Gertler, yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's how he came into it. So yeah, it would have been a full year before he started Schmoedown, 2 years before you guys
here we go. This is the weekend.
Please
tell me that someone sent me a copy of that picture. I have photos of me and Erica from that weekend. Okay, I might have to show it next episode because I have pictures of everyone else from that weekend, but I don't have that picture. Interesting.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
I do have a picture of Erica and I just being absolute clowns on the escalator though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Erica lets me be my most authentic self and she loves me anyway.
I can say the top Letterboxd review of Psycho, which I think is quite fun, is biggest twist of all time is that Norman Bates is hot.
By the way, I do have to say at some point, whether you watch it on your own or I assign it to you, Psycho 2, incredibly underrated, very, very good sequel.
I'm being completely honest, probably not going to get to that one on my own time. So that's one's fair. Probably going to have to go on the list.
Totally fair. If I'm being honest, I actually haven't looked at the list for what to assign you this week.
I'm going to do it now.
All right. And yeah, we can get that in just a second, but just a couple closing things on Psycho. Yes, I didn't know at what point Marion was going to be, killed.
Dispatched with.
But it was I will say I do prefer the opening half, I think, to the second half. I think that the marriage dynamic was a bit more interesting than the back half of the film. Though again, the back half has been growing on me. And also for the record, I do think this is better than the Lego Star Wars. But just gonna throw that one out there.
They're just very different things. I had so much fun watching Empire Strikes Out. So much fun.
But I did think it was odd watching because like I had to pause it after like I don't know 35-40 minutes to go do something and then come back, and I checked the Oscars in between, and I I saw that like I'm pretty sure it's the only acting nom it got, unless I am mistaken. But no, yeah, the only acting nom that Psycho got was Janet Leigh, I'm pretty sure, for Best Supporting Actress, and I saw it was like supporting.
Right.
But yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit hard to talk about because like what hasn't already been said. But like,
Right.
I think that I was struck with is like this is a type of film that isn't really made anymore, and it feels like something that would only exist as like an audio drama now, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like this type of narrative, like it feels so intensely classical, like and just like a very specific setting that's haunting, and very clearly defined characters with a very clear role in the narrative, and it's it isn't saying much beyond what is at its surface, but it takes time to flesh out the ideas at the surface. Like it's very, very traditional, like modernist storytelling, largely centered around one location. And I think that like I listened to quite a few audio dramas, and I think that a lot of audio dramas have like just like they share a lot of traits as like with like what we typically think of as like classical films, because they typically are quite modernist, because there isn't that extra layer of like a visual language or a physical performance or something like that, where you can add a bit more nuance to I think the themes that you're approaching. So it just mainly focused on like just like really, really solid modernist telling of stories. So which made me wonder, I wonder if anybody's ever done Psycho as an audio drama before.
I don't know,
because I feel like it could work like really, really well. But
I could see that.
Yeah. No.
If not, we should just do it.
We should do it. We'll cast. I mean, we got Mike.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. We should just do it for charity. That way, if we get in trouble, it's like, you're really going to try to get us in trouble for doing something for charity.
That is the best way to do illegal things, is to do illegal things for charity.
Well, also because charity is like good.
Or because it's more fun to do illegal things that way.
Yes, all of it. All of that.
All of the above. Well, do you have anything else on Psycho?
For anyone that hasn't seen it, it's definitely like it's a slow burn, and like the payoff isn't a huge firework like you might expect, but I do think it's a worthwhile watch. I think it's, if you're a horror person, again, it's not like what we think of as modern horror, but I think it's very worthwhile. Horror.
Yeah,
I think it's super worthwhile though, and I think it's an essential part of the Hitchcock filmography. And where we're going to go, because I definitely want to give you about at least 2 more Hitchcock in this year, probably.
Okay.
But that's because I'm just a huge fan of Hitchcock. And Psycho being one of the big ones.
Yeah.
But I want to give you a couple of like the lesser discussed ones as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I think that having the foundational knowledge of the big ones makes enjoying the smaller ones more worthwhile. So
sure. Cool. Yeah, no.
But I'm curious to know what's my movie this week? What's my assignment?
Okay, Mara. So we're going back to my childhood once again, but kind of.
Ooh, okay.
So a bit of a story with this one. So this film is from famed director Jay Blakeson of I Care a Lot.
Okay. Okay.
And it is a movie whose trailer I saw before Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and it traumatized me as a 10-year-old. And then a year later, when it was free to watch on Xfinity, which was the television service we had at the time, I decided to watch it. And I remember mostly nothing, but I have seen it, so it counts. I'm assigning you, and I don't think you've seen this because you didn't log it, The Fifth Wave. Have you seen this movie?
I have not seen it, but I remember what that movie is, and I am very excited.
I remember seeing it and being very interested, but also traumatized. And then yeah, I chose to seek it out and watch it. And I remember nothing. So it's basically gonna be like a first watch for me too, but I'm gonna count it because I know for a fact that I have seen this movie. So I don't think it's good. Like at all.
It is, it looks like right now it's only on Stars, which is fine. I will rent it on Apple TV. I will spend the $4.
All right. Sounds good.
But that way other people know if they would like to watch it, where they can find it. It looks like it's available for streaming on Stars.
Yeah. Which, I mean, also if you have like the Hulu or Amazon or YouTube Premium, then you can get it if you have like a bundle with it. But
yeah, of course. Any of the Stars bundlies thingies, Roku.
Sure.
And that's available for rental on basically everything, like Microsoft, Vudu, Apple TV, Yahoo, Google Play, Amazon, and
or the other places if you know where to look.
Or the other places. I'm not gonna say them.
I'm not gonna say don't. I'm just gonna not say them.
I today at a college thing, one of the advisors came up to me. You know, we were talking. I was with a group of people, and they were doing like a giveaway for like the bookstore to get like, you know, your textbooks and whatever. And he was like, yeah, I would recommend though, like, you know, going to like Amazon or, you know, finding places to rent that might be cheaper than just going directly through the bookstore would probably be better. And you know, gave us a couple examples of like, you know, places to rent from or reseller, all these types of things. To which I responded, what about if we were to illegally download textbooks? To which the advisor said, on the record, I will stay silent, but off the record, absolutely go for it. So I will take this as a win. Because textbooks cost way too much money, and I'm not going to pay for that when I can get it for free.
Too much money back when I was doing it, and they cost probably 3 times as much now, I bet. So
I'm not going to pay that much for something that I'm going to use for like what, 3 months.
I gotta say, like e-textbooks were just kind of starting to become a thing when I went back to school again, and like after I got out of the Navy. And I was not like resistant to them, but I was like, oh, I just really like physical textbooks. That's what I'm used to. But man, open book tests, being able to control F and just search for the word. I'm like, oh my God, e-textbooks are amazing. The shit. Yeah.
They're so good.
Big fan.
They're so good. They're so good. Okay. What is my movie that we're pairing with The Fifth Wave?
Okay. So this is one of the very rare rom-coms that I thoroughly think is not only a movie that I love, but that is good. This is a good movie. When Harry Met Sally. Okay.
Yeah. Nah, I've never seen it. I did unfortunately watch Anyone But You recently, which was not a very good rom-com.
Oh, okay. I kind of want to watch it just because everyone was talking about it. So
it's rough. It's rough. My Letterboxd review is saying that this was written by AI. It's probably offensive to AI.
Oh God, I gotta watch it now.
It's bad. It's bad. But no, okay. I'm excited about When Harry Met Sally. I feel like it's one that I definitely should have seen. So we got The Fifth Wave and When Harry Met Sally.
It feels just embellished enough to be a movie, because anything that is just purely real life, other than something that is intentionally steeped in like mundanity for the sake of it. Other than those types of movies, real life is boring. So it's just fantastic enough to be compelling. It has really good humor. It's really well cast. But it's so sincere and it feels very true to real life as far as like how the characters' relationships evolve. And it's like Meg Ryan at like some of her finest rom-com stuff, because I
think
really
like
hate
this.
the rom-coms where it's like
this.
some of her best ones are the ones where it's like she has a perfectly like, and I don't mean like a perfectly good man that she just like decides isn't good enough, but like really a man that there's absolutely nothing wrong with. Like there's nothing wrong in their relationship whatsoever. There are no flaws with this person other than he might be less cool than the new guy. Like it's not like, oh, they're not super compatible, or oh, they should have broken up a long time ago, they just didn't, or like any of the many miscellaneous reasons why the couple
relationships
should separate, but they haven't yet. Like she just leaves really fucking good guys for a new guy in like all of the best rom-coms.
Listen, don't we all? Sorry.
Oh yeah. but like their relationship evolves over decades of time in such a sweet way. And there's the fun. What? I'm not spoiling it. Everyone knows this movie, right?
Oh no, I was just saying, like, I was just, you need to watch the Before trilogy sometime, please. And
I know I do. I really do, because the 2010s bracket, I'm suffering as a result because I have not seen them.
Oh, is Before Midnight on there?
I think whichever ones are in the 2010s are in it. So.
Only Before Midnight. There's one per decade, so.
Okay, well then, yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, one of the best movies ever made. Anyways.
So yeah.
Benjamin Sally. No, I'm excited. I'm excited. This will be a fun one. We have 2 actual movies this time.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Because like Winnie Pooh, not a real movie. So yeah. All right. Well, this has been The Basement, a slightly tired basement. But yeah, we will see you guys next week, and we'll actually do one next week this time.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.